This week we're finishing Mate by Hazelwood, otherwise known as Straight Up BYU Rules.
Hi readers, I'm Jordan.
And I'm Katie.
And welcome to Not Another Heroine, the book pod where we celebrate the heroines we love
and roast the ones we don't. We'll be your TBR FGMs.
Fairy godmothers.
And find you the best 5-star reads, the spiciest romance, and save you from the overhyped DNFs.
So grab your favorite drink and get cozy. Welcome to Season 3.
Girl is going into heat. Not me, Karina. We're not going to keep you waiting.
I could not believe I read 100+ pages of this terminal illness only to discover that she was horny the whole time. I
love that.
But
love
you
that
knew?
You did not know.
You
totally knew. Because I had read All You Want by SenLinYu, and I was like, fevers? Only in the middle of the night? All of a sudden, she's like really comfortable around Cohen. I'm like, is Hazelwood really going to? And then it happened, and I was like, oh, she did. And
absolutely.
You know what?
No. No, I wanted her to be dying, and then I wanted some miracle drug to be like hoarded by the cult, and then that would save her. And then Cohen was forced to it.
I love the fact that there was kind of a cure medication, and they waited too long.
The fact that there is it's fine. I have beef with this book.
Which is so funny because I feel like this was the part that I was like, oh, okay, Allie, like, I get all the hype about Mate. Like, I'm invested now. Which, maybe said something about my reading predilections.
So I think this whole thing, kind of going back to the whole Omegaverse thing, which is Omegas are designed to be the mates of the alphas, and like they go into heat and like they can't help themselves. It gives me a little bit of the ick, and I think it's just one of those romantasy tropes that just does nothing for me. I find like mentally it just doesn't work. And I feel the same way about like fated mates, like regardless of whether it's werewolves or not. Like the whole predestined mate thing is like, I don't like that. It kind of takes the accountability and ownership and like the romance out of a developing relationship. It removes it because it's like out of the individual's control. I'm like, oh, you don't even have to try. It's just there.
Yeah.
So
I almost wonder, I feel like that whole comment really kind of speaks to why we maybe didn't love Mate. Because I do feel like the whole they were mates, and so like they're together and it just had to happen. It kind of removes the need for romance, and that kind of felt what was lacking maybe in the first like 60% of this book is like they had a lot of fun banter and stuff, but there wasn't necessarily like very romance coded interactions between the two of them. And maybe we're kind of like, wait a second, like you guys are jumping into bed together, which is fine, but like I need some kind of lead up to this.
It's a weird nuance in romance and in romance in general, because you, like most readers know, they read these books because there's a romance. We know they're going to get together in the end. It's not a surprise. But you want them to work at it. You want there to be like this glimmering doubt in the characters' minds. Like readers always know what's going to happen. Like we don't read, and like I don't read unless those characters are going to have a happy fucking ending. But like you have to give the semblance of a challenge that what Rob points out every single time, the will they, won't they. There was just never that.
I think about that all the fucking time. I'm reading these romantasy books and like Rob's voice is in my head, which is not something that I wanted, desired, requested, but it's constantly like, will they, won't they? And I'm like, well, obviously they will. Like there's no question in this. Let me find a different book.
There's the issue,
Cohen
I think.
could have been either a simp or totally fighting for his fucking life to not fall in love with Serena. We needed some kind of, he was too much of a going with the flow.
Maybe it was the man bun and just wasn't.
Honestly, I feel like I like a good man bun, but on Cohen, I was a little bit like, ooh, excuse me?
It
No, thank you.
it just felt cookie cutter, like, "Oh, this is the character I want. Oh, does it take place in the Northwest? Oh, he must wear plaid and Carhartts. It's fine."
Yeah. I will say I love Serena's jokes about him being, like, lumber sexual or whatever her little comments are,
Mhm.
but it did feel a little bit, like, rote, trite,
Yeah, like, we're
synonym.
supposed to have banter, so, like, we're gonna spend the first 30% of this book just having this playful, like, witty comments back and forth. "Oh, hey, killer, you look so hot today." It just did not hit the same,
Yeah.
but I think for like, as a warning for readers, it's just this is it just didn't click with us. Not that it's poorly written or that this, like, is a bad book because
Mhm.
clearly it is. Like, we
Yeah.
finished it. It's
Yes.
just some characters are gonna click with you and some characters are not.
Mhm.
So, yeah, back to her dying of hate. Mm,
Horniness.
horniness.
That is going to suck out Jordan's soul.
I I
I think
cannot talk about this.
this whole episode is going to be a little bit of a struggle. I will
I'm
say this first bit though, when she goes to the doctor and the doctor's like, "I don't really know what's wrong with you," but I was talking to my wife who's like a nurse practitioner and she kind of had one of those like light bulb moments immediately. She's going to come in here and talk to you. I loved that they had to like outsource to like a woman's perspective and immediately she's like, "Oh, honey, like
I feel like that
it's
is
your
such
time
a
of the month."
that is like a such a lived experience for so many women. Like,
Yeah.
"This weird thing is happening to my body. Oh my god, is this the first time it's ever happened?" You're Googling for like 20 minutes, like, "WebMD, tell me if I'm dying." And
Yeah.
then, like, the wise old woman is like, "My child,
Honey,
you will
go
suffer
get
the rest of
laid.
your life."
I I love that I went full Omegaverse and you're like, "No, death."
Those are 2 takes on
Honestly,
the
though,
book.
respectable. But, yeah, the doctor's wife comes in, and she's like, "Okay, so I know that you're, like, 26, 27, but we are going to have the talk." And Serena's like, "Sex? Like, I've had sex before." And the doctor's like, "No, this is a little bit more nuanced. You are going to go into heat, and that is why you haven't been able to shift. There's a bunch of research about it. This is totally normal. You just pick a partner and get through it. And then on the other end, you're fine and you are not dying. You're going to be good." And Serena's like, "Well, I'm not sure that I want to do that. My mate has very frankly expressed that he's not really interested in me like that." I think the like specific wording is like Cohen straight up told her, he's like, "This is never going to happen. I'm not interested in you like that." And she's like, "Okay, that hurt a little bit, but like, cool." And the doctor's like, "Well, you can't, just like tough it out. Like, this is a pretty extreme thing that happens to your body, and you could like die from the trauma if you don't, handle things." And they eventually like get to some kind of consensus that they can give her some kind of hormone shot to like get rid of it. It kind of feels like a birth control kind of thing. Like you
Mhm.
avoid your period by taking birth control, but she has to take it very soon. Unfortunately, she gets kidnapped.
Oh, I forgot about the kidnapping part.
Yeah. Yep. Because I think before this, she's been getting, like, progressively worse in the middle of the night, and she'll wake up in Cohen's bed, and she's like, "This is kinda weird, but this is the only place that I feel safe." And Cohen's like, "Well, sure, you can hang out here, killer. Like, that's fine." And is it this early in the plot when she finds out that Cohen's whole, like, celibacy thing? I feel like it's later, isn't it?
It all kind of blurs together. I wanna say, like,
Mhm.
2/3 of the way through, maybe the 50% mark, she gets, like, the pack dynamics and why Cohen is the way Cohen is, which is he is the almighty leader. The I guess historically, the packs, like, packs all across the US, the pack leaders were not allowed to have mates because it was, like, a weakness, and the mate could be, like, used as leverage against the pack leader. And so
Mhm.
most of the packs have become I don't know what's the word, have evolved and like,
Modernized.
yeah, like, "Oh,
Yeah.
everyone's human, you can have a girlfriend, it's totally fine," except the Northwest Pack, and that's because they have some traumatic history. Some revolution happened in the last, 20-ish years, and Cohen was at the forefront of it, so they're trying to keep their pack very stable, like, politically, and not throw anything like a mate for the leader into that whole mix. But
Mhm.
somehow, Cohen makes the math work in his head where he's like, "You know what?
Honestly.
Like, I can't get laid, but, like, I can help you out." That's not breaking my vow at all. Like, the
Mhm.
just it was a very convenient, like, "Oh, let's bend the rules. It doesn't it doesn't count if you put it in that way."
Honestly, we're getting some straight up, like, BYU rules up in
Yeah,
here.
right? That's what this feels like.
Yeah,
Um
honestly. But basically, so part of the kidnapping thing, Serena's been trying to figure out who her parents were. She's been an orphan her whole life, and she found out that her father is aware, except there was some kind of event in the Northwest PAC's history where all of the records and databases were destroyed. And all of these events start kind of like lining up where she's like, okay, well, like all of this, Cohen became alpha, around this time, and then there was some kind of event, and then we have this cult that's trying to like, wares are superior and they can like turn humans into wares and like we can all be equals and, join the cause. All of these events kind of happened around the same time. Serena wakes up after being kidnapped and she's like, "Where the fuck am I?" And this lady comes back and she's like, "I am your aunt." And she's like, "What the fuck?"
Let me tell you about your mom and your
Yeah.
dad, who happened to be the cult leader. And
Mhm.
this is like some sister wives nonsense because, like, the cult
Bro.
leader, like, he had some girlfriends, which included Serena's mom, but there was also a human. Serena's mom was a human. The cult leader was a wolf, and he like got a harem basically by telling all of these human women, like, "Come be my girlfriend. I'll turn you into a wolf if you're, lucky enough." And
Ooh.
yeah, but isn't there some sort of also thing where they try to take over the Northwest Pack? This cult, like 20 years ago, got all this power, all of these members. They were getting pretty influential. And then they like kidnapped the mate of the pack leader at the time, like 20 years ago, and used her or used him as leverage to get the pack leader in there, and then murdered them both and tried to take over the entire Northwest territory. Cohen at, like, age 15 was such a I don't know any 15-year-old who could do this, but
No.
at 15, Big Bad Wolf decides to, like, save the pack. He comes in, destroys the cult, kills the cult leader and, like, any of the people who were, like, protecting, supporting him, which includes Serena's mom. And this
Ooh.
is, inconvenient. This is what Auntie Dearest reveals to Serena while she's kind of being held almost captive. It's a weird kidnapped state that Serena's in, because when
Yeah.
she wakes up in this house, she's, like, not handcuffed or anything. She's kind of free to move around. She's got, like, servants essentially, like, bringing her snacks and painting pretty pictures on her body. She's got, like, a preset, like, "Here are some wolf boys that you can
To
play
get you
with."
through your heat.
Because we recognize that you're suffering. And
Yeah.
so it's like this cult is trying to, like, convince Serena that she needs to come back and join them as, like, the cult leader's daughter, and, like, she is the one to, like, bring the cult back into power. And so she discovers all this and also discovers that Cohen is the reason she's an orphan, which is a lot to
Mhm.
process.
Yeah. I love the fact that Cohen breaks in and the aunt is like, "Well, I gotta play my trump card now. Cohen killed your mom." And Serena's just there like, "I am, like, actively dying right now. I am on the verge of going into heat. I have fevers, I have chills, and we're, like, having this kind of, like, PTSD moment. Can we, like, chill for, like, 2 to 3 business days so I can deal with this and then come back?" But basically, they, like, let her go. Cohen's like, Serena's gonna come with me anyways." And then all of a sudden, she's back with the pack, but
It
the aunt escapes?
it was it was weird. The whole ending kind of blurred together a little bit, kind of the way Bride's ending did, like, it just
Yeah.
feels a little rushed. I thought it was interesting, though, because, she's held captive. Cohen comes in, and it's like this aha moment for the aunt saying like, "Oh, like history is repeating itself. Like we're gonna kill your mate unless you like give up the pack to us." And there's supposed to be this very like fraught moment where the aunt is presenting Serena with this opportunity to like kill Cohen because he killed her parents. And I feel like as the reader, we were supposed to be like doubting whether or not Serena would actually do it or not. Like there should be like
Mhm.
the glimmer of chance, like she just hates Cohen so much in this moment that she's willing to like stab him. But like I never believed it. It just
No.
was not there was no tension there. So
Yeah.
she gives
I felt
Cohen the
the
knife.
Yeah, I felt the exact same way. I was like, I know this is supposed to be like a fraught moment, but like obviously she's just gonna like walk out with him. Like, where's the doubt here? But
But
I
don't
yeah, it kind of speaks to like what we could maybe not fix, but like change about Cohen's character is like you need to make something about his personality a little bit more dominant in order for that moment to feel doubtful, you know?
Mhm. Or make Serena's personality
Mm.
more than just Susie Homemaker, like
Honestly.
I
Yeah.
mean, like her like when I think back to who is Serena, all I remember are, "Oh, she's a great cook. Everyone wants to come to their house to have spaghetti and pancakes, and she's beautiful." That's kind of the defining characteristics that you get repeatedly throughout the story because she, like, as a character, she herself acknowledges, "Oh, I've always been, like, very, voluptuous and beautiful, and I've never had trouble, like, attracting people." So, cool. Also, I just want my own house, and I wanna be able to cook for friends, and I just want to be loved. Like,
Yeah.
that's Serena.
Yeah. I kinda wish so I was re-listening to this before we recorded the episode, and there was a moment where Serena is talking about how I think it's Cohen tells her straight up, like, "I'm not interested in you," and like that, and there's a moment where Serena's kind of, like, reflecting on it, and she's like, "I'm not really surprised or hurt about it because I've never been, like, entitled to anything. Like, I was the orphan, basically, like, baby doll for Misery, who is the, vampire that had to go live in human lands. I lived in an orphanage, nobody really took care of me, so I never felt entitled to anything, so it wasn't crazy when things were taken away from me, and I kind of it was like one of those, like, "Whoa," like, Serena has like, you don't really interact with characters like that where they kind of, like, expect to not get anything, and they're not surprised when they not get when they don't get anything, and I feel like that could have been, like, more at the forefront where like, all of her interactions with Cohen are kind of coded by that, where she knows that Cohen doesn't want her, but she is like, "Well, that's kinda how it goes, like, I don't think that he'll ever love me, like, that's just the way it goes, I'm just gonna continue living life, not entitled to anything as, like, a lone broken, thrown away doll, and that's just life. If that had been, like, brought more a little bit to the surface, I feel like this moment of her all of a sudden being entitled to a decision could have been a little bit more intense. But that's a
I
good point that she
well,
had no
no.
personality.
I could not agree more because that is a very traumatic backstory. Like, oh, you never feel wanted or loved because, like, you've been thrown away repeatedly by everyone in your
Mhm,
entire life. Like, so, like, superficial benefits like being pretty or having a great body or having these skills because she's like a news reporter, a financial analyst. Having all this success, which she had previously, doesn't mean anything if, like, internally you're still struggling with all of those, like, all of that trauma. But like you said, where's where's the trauma hitting home in her current interactions? So yeah,
mhm,
I think maybe had that been more like at the forefront, at play, like constantly in the front of her head, maybe we would have related to her more.
mhm.
Um,
Which is crazy too, because this is in first person. So, like, I know that Allie Hazelwood doesn't love a lot of, like, exposition or a lot of, like, internal dialogue thought, but I feel like this particular scene could have been way stronger, could have introduced a lot of doubt, made the book maybe in whole a little bit stronger. If there was, like, a little bit of a monologue where she's like, "Cohen is the reason that I am never entitled to anything, and all of a sudden I'm entitled to this choice, and I get to decide." Like, I am, the impetus on this decision. I'm the move maker. Like, let me actually consider this. But it's from the beginning. She's like, why would I kill Cohen? And then it's like, oh, she doesn't. It's like, well,
You
yeah.
know, I wonder if you had reversed the order of events in this story, and put all of this
Mm.
action at the forefront where she learns all this stuff about Cohen before they become intimate, before they have all of this chemistry together, and they have to get through that to get to their relationship. I wonder if it would have
Yeah.
clicked better.
Yeah, because then that's why she hid away for 2 months. But then, like, all of a sudden the heat's coming and it's like, "You gotta figure this out." But, like, Cohen's dropping in and he's like, "Hey, like, I know that I said that I don't love you or anything, but, like, here's some cookies because I know that you're their favorite." And Serena's like, "Thanks, but you're still an asshole."
You
And then
killed
they,
my
like
mom and you dropped me off at an orphanage when I was 4,
Yeah.
like, "Fuck you, man."
Yeah, and now I'm in the woods by myself. And he's like, "Yeah, it wasn't my best moments, but, like, let me make it up to you." It would be a totally different book, but, like, I'm kinda vibing with this idea.
This is really it for the story, like
Oh, yeah, no. After this, it's just like a fuckathon.
you're right, it is, it's so
Yeah.
much. They resolve the cult thing, it's not a threat anymore. The last lingering little conflict is, "Will the pack authorize me to have a mate? And if they don't, then fuck you, pack, you can find a new leader," which is basically where you assume it's gonna go.
Yeah.
Um, but everyone lives happily ever after, that's pretty much it.
Mhm. I will say that I loved that Cohen for the entirety of the book is like, "I am not going to have a mate. Like, this is a technicality, this is a biology thing, but I'm not interested in having a relationship with you. That's just how it is." But then and he's, like, pretty adamant. He's like, like because I think his parents were like, his mom was the alpha, and
Uh-huh.
so he had, like, firsthand experience of, like, if I have a mate and I love them, like, everything gets fucked up, and I'm not willing to sacrifice that. I love that he's so adamant about it, but by the end, he is also adamant. He's like, "I couldn't avoid this. I am willing to give up all of my alphaness, like, that's just how it is." I loved that he was so matter of fact about it. He did not blink twice. He's like, "You know what? I have to give it all up, but you know what? That's fine. We have a lot of chemistry going on, obviously, as we have determined during the past week of Fuckathon. I'm 100% about this. I have no doubts." I love that.
I think that that does ring true with this character and what you see, like, normal people do, which is, like, they are so set on a certain path, that they've convinced themselves this is the way, and then, something life-changing happens to them, and they're like they are equally decisive in changing that, which
Mhm.
doesn't show any weakness in, like, their beliefs prior to that. It's just shit happens, man. You have great sex and you find a mate and, like, "Nope, I don't wanna be a governor anymore."
I'm good. I'm gonna retire.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think that I love obviously, like, Cohen's character was kind of, like, lackluster, but I will say the one thing that I liked about him was, like, how there was absolutely no hint of self-doubt. Like, he
Mhm.
knew things, and he knew them, and that was it, and whatever. Because I will say that that's kind of, like, maybe not my complaint sometimes with male characters, but it always feels like they're kind of, like, thinking a little bit too much about it. They're like, "Well, like, this, and, like, I can't be married to you because of X." But, like, Cohen is, like, straight up, he's like, "Nah, man. We're gonna get
Cohen
married, and I am going to be a stay-at-home husband, and I'm gonna, like, woodwork in the back. This is my job now."
Cohen kinda reminds me of Eli from Not in Love,
Yeah. I could see
but
that.
the problem you're describing with, like, the male leads, like, not knowing what they want or getting their shit together, that's Connor Harkness,
Yeah.
like like, to a T.
That was the whole, like, issue at the, like, 60-70% mark in Problematic Summer Romance, was he was like, "I love you, but I still have a lot of doubt about this." And Maya's like,
Mhm,
"Absolutely the fuck not. Like, figure it out, bro."
mhm.
But yeah, they kill all the cult people. Serena is all fine. Misery gets upset with her because she's like, "When the fuck were you gonna tell me that you were dying?" And Serena's like, "Well, I didn't wanna bother you." And like, Missouri is like, "Okay, girl, you need to get the fuck over that because 'cause you're my sister." Serena's like, "Oh my god, I love you." I will say
This play-by-play is, like, exactly how it happens in the book.
I will say I loved it was kind of like a Twilight callback when Serena wakes up in the hospital and she has that, like, kind of heart-to-heart moment. It felt exactly like Bella waking up in the hospital after falling down the stairs when she got fucked up by whatever the crazy vampire was. Are you remembering this?
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah,
I
identical scenes. It's
like,
like, "He never left your side."
also, is this a Twilight call-out as an entire book? Because she starts in the Southwest, just like Bella, and then goes to the rainy Northwest and ends up loving it and meets some werewolves.
Oh my god.
And there's crazy vampires trying to kill her?
Holy shit. Allie Hazelwood, you fucking dog.
This
Damn. I love that we were just like, it's a full 2 books about vampires and werewolves, and it's only at the end of the 2nd book that we're like, "Wait a second, Twilight?"
Bella? Edward High? This is fan fiction. This is Bella
Look,
ending
girl,
up with
where are
Jacob.
you? Honestly. Oh my god.
I think that's a
Hmm.
great place to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mhm. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, that was
We did
Mate
it.
by Allie Hazelwood.
It was
From
so
our
much
shelf
fun.
to yours.
We'll see you on the next page. Hi, readers. Like what you've been hearing? Check out the Spice Archive at notanotherheroine.com to see all of our reviews and ratings. And if you'd like to support our growing library, find us on Patreon and get access to exclusive bonus content.
If you'd like to just listen, we post new episodes every Monday and Wednesday on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. Thanks for listening.